Hello and welcome again to another episode of NERF News, your number one source for NERF news on the net. I'm your host, Drac, and today we're talking about the HELIOS, or if you pronounce it without the hard H, as I am prone to do, the HELIOS. Anyway, I'm going to try really hard to pronounce it the way that I know that you guys are going to pronounce it. The HELIOS is, of course, a rival blaster. You can see here that it is part of the Phantom Core line. That's pretty sweet in and of itself. Deco looks hot. It obviously will not be mirrored on both sides. And I want to go ahead and take a moment to apologize again. I do not like the stock microphone on this laptop. I'm trying to speak at a very reasonable audio level, and I'm standing pretty far away from the laptop in the hopes that the audio will be better. I also capped the decibel levels, but I'm not an audio engineer, so I'm having a little bit of a difficult time with this. I'm on the road. The news doesn't really wait for me to be in my studio where I have my ultra sweet Yeti mic. So I'm in Montana right now doing some work with Zombie Tools, which is a really awesome company, and I'll be posting videos about that on my vlog channel. But let's talk about the actual news, not what's going on with me. Montana is sweet, though. It's also on fire. Anyway, the HELIOS is a rival Phantom Core blaster. You can see that the controls are going to be ultra simple. It's basically an Apollo that's bolt action. So that's the first step in a sniper rifle from the rival line. However, I guarantee you it's going to get standard Springer performance. So we do not have a rev trigger, not to be confused with the Era. And down here we have a magazine release. This is almost identical to the Apollo's magazine release, but it'll probably work more like the Hera's in that it's an actual button control, not like a panel built into it. That's going to be slightly harder to hit with the meat of your hand, but it will be more efficient ultimately, I think. It'll be less accidental in its mag drops. Now, the bolt action here is interesting, particularly because, and I'm going to jump ahead here, we have, this is an image that my buddy Rob Lair put together when the Apollo originally came out, and everybody was really confused by this claw hammer thing. And it was a very strange priming method. Nobody really understood it. Nobody knew why it had that gnarly hook in it. And he was like, oh, this is going to be dangerous. Some kid's going to do, well, exactly this. They're going to like trip and fall on it, and this is going to happen. And so I'm really thrilled that this revision to the Apollo has come, and it's going to be part of the Phantom Core line. I think that it's very strange from a marketing perspective that Hasbro released a Phantom Core Apollo that has still the claw thing, and then immediately just took that and made it completely obsolete, like planned obsolescence, with an actual like rival blaster designed for the Phantom Core line, updated for 2017. And in theory will be a much smoother operation. Hopefully we removed that one funky lock, and so it'll be a very smooth prime. We've got plenty of top rail up here. If we look at the other side of the blaster, we can see that it is fully ambi. It is going to be symmetrical on both sides, which is really cool. I actually really like the way that this muzzle device looks, and it looks like the deco is on both sides, or at least it is in these promo photos. Now, they fooled us before, but that is pretty cool. I'm into that. It's a good-looking blaster. The white on black is going to be incredible for paint jobs, and interestingly enough, when they came out with the Apollo for the Phantom Core line, it came with a 12-round magazine, which made me think that surely Hasbro had moved away from the tooling for the 7-rounders in favor of the higher capacity magazine, and that is clearly not the case. This is not only shown with a 7-rounder in its magwell, but it's also being pitched as an XVII-700, which means that this is fully intentional. It will be shipping with a 7-rounder. Since before this, the only way to get a 7-rounder was in the Apollo, we thought that they were going to be extinct. So if you did like the low-profile rubberized magazines for, I guess, more of a pistol-type rival experience, it's going to stick around, which is really neat. I honestly enjoy holstering with these in, and I know that my buddy Avery, who uses these in an actual loadout, he also keeps his holstered and actually built onto the holster 2 7-rounders because they're such a lower profile than the 12. Now, we also get a really good look at a non-Deadpool version of the Kronos, and frankly, like, guys, I am most excited about the Kronos here. I think that is going to be really big game. It's an actual rival pistol. The performance doesn't have to be that great. My content reflects that people have wanted a rival pistol for at least since the line came out, realistically, and this is a designed for rival pistol system that looks great. I mean, I'm really into it. It almost reminds me of like a Judge Dredd pistol, and I think that it's going to be really hot too. But it will have a Phantom Core release in addition to its Deadpool special edition release. And hopefully this guy leaks before the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, because we know that that one's going to be crazy expensive and probably pretty difficult to get our hands on. However, it's already red and black, so you know that I'm going to be picking one up, even if I have to fly out there myself. Maybe I'll hit up old Paul Kowski and sleep on his lawn. Who knows? But that pretty much covers it for the rival Helios. I've drug it out a whole bunch. I am not like super thrilled by this blaster from a performance standpoint, but I do love that the rival Phantom Core line is getting fleshed out. I do love that we're fixing what I consider to be a real defect and Rob Lair considered to be a safety issue with the Apollo originally, and so in theory we will have a cheap entry-level Springer blaster that's now bolt action and far more intuitive. So thank you guys very much for watching. If the audio is bad, I'm really sorry. It's hard to get good audio on the road because I thought that I was going to be grinding swords this whole time, not making Nerf news videos, but the internets do not wait, my friends. So thank you very much for watching. As always, I really appreciate your viewership. Hopefully you guys appreciate my perspective on these new releases. I have one more that I'll be making and releasing probably tomorrow morning-ish. And then for those of you that have been really excited about that blue strife I'm working on, all I've got left is cooking up an awesome thumbnail, and it will be dropping soon on the channel. So, much love, Nerf on, Drek out.